till the Spirit is poured on us from on high, and the desert becomes a fertile field, and the fertile field seems like a forest. The Lord's justice will dwell in the desert, in his righteousness, and his righteousness live in the fertile field. The fruit of the righteousness will be peace. Its effect will be quietness and confidence forever. My people live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest. Isaiah 32 and verse 15. Demystifying the Holy Spirit. This is one of my most favorite verse in the Bible. Because when I read this verse in my Bible researching, I got hope that you can be a desert like right now. You can be a nothing. Your content can be the spirit of futility, emptiness, a place of no habitation. You're not good for habitation. The Bible is saying, if the Spirit is poured from high and lands on a desert, take desert and lands on a desert, that desert itself turns into a fertile field. Just take a natural desert that you know. If you bring the Spirit of the Lord and you put it on that desert, by the time you are looking at that desert, you notice it has already been transformed. It has already been translated. It has already been changed into a loam soil. You notice the moment the Spirit of the Lord comes upon your life and you were in a state of nothing. You are in the state of famine, in the state of drought, in the state of wilderness, in the state of barrenness, in the state of vanity, in the state of futility, in the state of scorching. They will say the Spirit turns your nature into fertility, into productivity, into fruitfulness. The Spirit of the Lord transforms the water into wine. The Spirit of the Lord changes the stone into bread. The Spirit of the Lord turns a desert into a fertile field. That is why you can meet a person that is a prostitute, and the Spirit, when it comes upon that prostitute, she becomes a preacher. You can meet a person who is a thief. If the Spirit of the Lord comes upon that person, he becomes an economic empowerment agent of God. You can meet a witch and a sorcerer. If the Spirit of the Lord comes upon that person is turned by the Spirit of the Lord into a force of healing and deliverance. The Spirit of the Lord is the one that turns a desert into a fertile field. It is the same Spirit of the Lord that makes that person, that desert, become like a forest. Notice here, when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, justice dwells in you. Things start now to work to your advantage. The good lot and portions start falling to your lap. He says, his righteousness in the fertile field. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you don't struggle. You don't struggle with the sin. Righteousness becomes your portion. Righteousness becomes your portion. The fruit of the righteousness will be peace. Notice here. Look at it. The Holy Spirit comes upon a desert. That Spirit turns the desert into a fertile field. Then the fertile field brings forth the fruit called justice, righteousness, peace, quietness, and confidence. These all of them, they are released by the Spirit. And they are being released on a place that was a desert. A place that was a craggy rock. A place that was barren. A place that was completely a vanity. A sorrowful land where nothing grows. But when the Spirit of the Lord comes, changes the nature, changes the content, changes the quality. I don't know. The Spirit of you, all that you need right now, people see you as of no value. They despise you, they ignore you, they assume you, they see you as if you don't exist. The moment the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you bear things that everyone in the world, that is what they are looking for. Because when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, righteousness becomes evident. And righteousness means the right standing in the presence of the Lord. And then justice become your portion. And justice is things start now happening and working to your advantage. And then he says, peace becomes your portion. The most expensive thing in this world is peace. People are going too far and wide in search of peace. People are doing some certain atrocities in searching of peace. You notice people are going outside the marriage. They say, what are you looking for outside the marriage? I'm looking for peace. My wife cannot give me peace. My wife cannot give me peace. My husband cannot give me peace. Peace is the most expensive thing in the world. But when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, peace is made available. And then quietness, calmness. You get that? And then calmness, quietness. You notice things now become stable. That kind of anxiety expires. You become quiet. And then he says, and confidence will be there. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, you notice you become bolder. Confidence. You start even trusting and believing in yourself. The issue of doubt fades away. The issue of fretting fades away. Because the Spirit of the Lord comes with confidence. And he says, my people live in peaceful dwelling places. When the Spirit of the Lord comes, he is the one that settles you down in terms of shelter. My people live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest. We are now going to Kamuru to buy plots. I don't know, everywhere we are buying plots, and people are piercing themselves with so many troubles in regard to at least finding a shelter. But if the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he is the one who provides the shelter. He is the one that provides the shelter. And that shelter contains in it peace, security, and no disturbance. There is a lady, a friend of ours several years ago. She told us how they built a house somewhere at an estate called Airways. It was a very good house. Right now, they have rented it. Why? Because there were forces that were fighting them in the night and forced them to vacate. And now they're living in Lentos. Another lady was done the same thing. Demons drove her out of her house. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, he is the one that provides us with peaceful dwelling places. Praise Jesus Christ. How blessed it will be, sowing your seed by every stream and letting your cattle and donkeys range free. That is verse 20. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon us, we invest in the right places. You don't do mistakes in your investment, sowing your seed by every stream. You get the right ideas and the right techniques of investing them. The Spirit of the Lord is all that we need.